Okay, here we look at various combinations of functions when we're given the information on the functions in the form of a graph. This would work just the same if we were given the functions as tables. So first we're going to talk about, we need to look at the domains for f and g. So if we talk about the domain of f, we're going to say, okay, yeah, f looks like from 0 to 9 inclusive. And the domain of g looks like it's going from 3 to 10 inclusive. So that means, again, that our overlap is going to be, or our intersection is going to be the domain that we're going to use for f minus g, f times g, and our division after, plus we got to throw out anything that causes divide by 0. So we're looking at the range 3 to 9 for those. So domain of f minus g and f times g is that overlap. So we'll say 3 to 9 inclusive. Okay, so we're going to hold off on the divide. Well, actually, we might as well. We can do that, right? So the domain of f over g. So we're going to start with 3 to 9, and then we got to look at g and say, okay, is my g function, is there anything that's going to make me divide by 0? G never takes on a value of 0, so we don't need to worry about it. It's just going to be 3 to 9. Now, when we flip that and we look at the domain of g over f, however, in this interval from 3 to 9, there are a couple places where f is equal to 0, right? And that would cause us to have a divide by 0 error at that point. So we have to also exclude x equals 6 and x equals 8. So that means we get to write a whole fun domain, 3 to 6, with a parentheses on the 6 because it's not included, 6 to 8, and 8 to 9, but 9 is included. So that's a little complicated domain there because we've got to watch out for those places where we might divide by 0. Now we want to do something like f plus g at 5. We're going to just say, hey, I know that's f of 5 plus g of 5. And we can look on our graph and say, okay, well, what is f of 5? It looks like it's right there. Looks like it's 1. And g of 5, it's right there. Looks like it's 3. So that sum is just going to be 4. We're about multiplying, right? So this will be f. This is f times g at 6. So we got f of 6 times g of 6. And we, again, just need to read off the graph. F of 6 looks like that's 0. G of 6 really doesn't matter, but we'll read it off. It's about 3.5. Still equal to 0, though. And that point, that x equals 6 location, is in the domain for multiplication. It's only division where we have to throw that point out of the domain. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about composition of functions. So we're going to take a break or we're going to end this video and start in the next one.